Peace and love, family. I am so happy to say that Talk Black to Me is back. I am your host, Sister Freedom, and this is my co-host, Haru Bay.
Peace and Black Power.
I know that's right.
Good
Peace
to be back,
and
family.
Black Power.
Good to be back.
It's so good to hear a black man say that. Peace and Black Power. Well, this is a subject that's been really bothering me, and I know it's been bothering you too, so we said that we would go ahead on and talk about it this evening, okay? And it's pertaining to the flag and the national anthem, and pertaining to how it was written by a man that despised, hated, and wanted our lives to be actually ended in any horrible way it could possibly be. Am I correct to say that?
Most definitely.
His name was Francis Scott Key. And just to let people know that didn't know, that was actually a poem that was written in 1814. I actually have my notes here because I want to make sure that I state everything correctly to our family. Okay, because you need to know that when you're standing and giving praise and worship to a flag and saying a national anthem that was supposed to have been a mockery of the men that went to war, and the slaves in general. You need to know what the words were saying before it was turned into the national anthem, and that date was in 1931. It was written in 1814. It didn't become the national anthem until 1931, which was 117 years past the time it was written. And sneakily, parts was taken out of this particular poem that was written by a man that hated us so desperately. He just hated people of color.
And also, he was a racist slave owner.
Yes, he was.
A racist slave owner. And like you said, and at the time when he wrote this was 1814. And we were still subjugated and enslaved at that time. So anybody, especially black people, I'm talking to black people right now, any black person who stands, takes a knee, locks arms, sings, put your hand over your heart, you should not do that because, like I said, that was a racist song. And like I said, at the time...
It was a poem at first.
Right. And it didn't have anything to do with us.
No.
And if you even check the Constitution, we were considered 3/5 of a human. And then slavery was abolished in 1861, which is 51 years later. So we weren't even included in that poem and that song, as you will.
Well, not in no nice way.
Exactly, but we're going to break down the omitted
verses.
Lyrics,
Yes, that was taken out and tricked us.
Right, and this is what you need to realize, family, and also when we explain this verse to you, then you can get matter of fact, you can Google it yourself. Look it up for yourself. It's called the Forgotten Verses of the Star Spangled Banner. So, don't take our word for it. Do your own research.
And the words weren't forgotten. They were purposely taken out so they can put a facade over our minds, and we wouldn't have known that this was even ever there.
Right.
And they just had us to, say this, sing this, put our hand over our hearts.
Right.
I mean, the government actually should be ashamed of themselves knowing that this was there. And it's just another form of keeping us in slavery and them keeping control of our minds. It's horrible.
Right. And see, and then Donald Trump says that if whoever doesn't stand or sing or puts his hand over his heart, you're disrespecting the flag. Well, let me tell you something, Trump. Any game that I went to, football game, basketball game that I've ever went to, and they played that song, I did not stand, never have, and never will. And I don't care who don't like it. And that goes for Donald Trump. That goes for any Caucasian people who have a problem with what I said, because that flag, and especially the flag, which is a corporate flag,
right?
Okay, and that song promotes war. Because you just listen to it.
It was a mockery of our people, of the men that went to war that was called the Hell Fighters, that they, that they actually just made their lives a living hell after they won the war for them and saved their lives. They actually made their lives right after the war. They started the Jim Crow thing. So these men came back from war after winning all kinds of awards and things and never really recognized by the government here in America.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying?
I would never go fight for this government. Okay, my enemy's right here.
Yes.
I don't need to leave this country because my enemy is right here. I don't need to go thousands of miles away, get on no plane or any boat when my enemy is right here.
Right here.
And if you talk about fighting for freedom, you're not even fighting for the freedom of black people here.
And let me say this to you, for those who are what we call black. The black devil is the worst devil, okay? For the ones that make excuses up for this nonsense. I spoke with a person that stated to me, this was about the people that went to war. That person had no knowledge of what it really was about. And this person was in the service.
Right.
And never mentioned that they even knew about the lines that were taken out of this poem that today people sing.
Well,
this person had no knowledge at all of what this was.
Well, let's read the old.
And you forced, once you become in the service,
right.
Once you get in the service, as if everybody wasn't owned by the government, because you're not a citizen, you are a subject of the nonprofit organization called the United States. You're not a citizen; it's a corporation, and you are part, against your will, a part of the nonprofit organization. You are a subject, and they have to sign something every so often to make you a so-called, they allow us to say the word citizen, but a subject of the citizens of the United States Corporation.
Right, which really at the time, let me talk to you, black people in America. First of all, Martin Luther King, this civil rights movement, okay, now he incorporated us into a system that, number one, didn't want any part of us in it. And number two, now that we are incorporated in it, you have to follow the policies and statutes of this company. That's just like if you work for me. Mm-hmm. If you work for me, now I'm paying you to do a job. So if you speak out against my company, you're fired.
Yeah, plain definitely. But they need to understand what, I always get that word wrong, when you are emancipated.
Right.
What emancipated is, and they try to make it seem like, well, you were emancipated, you were free from America, you could just have left and go where?
Right.
And go where? We had no idea where it is that we came from or how to get back there. We may have known a tribe from our ancestors telling us, but we've been on these lands for so long. This was the slaves' home.
Right. Which is our land anyway. Don't forget
that.
Because Europeans who came over here robbed and stole the land. So even
Christopher Columbus said when he got over here, the people on these lands looked just like Africans.
Right. Well, like I said, they all came from Europe, but see, the thing about it is, this is our land. Okay. So if anybody needs to leave, because, they get me when they talk about, if you don't like it, leave. No, you leave.
Yes.
Because you raped, murdered, stole, and pillaged. So this isn't your land either. Never was. But let me break down this verse that they conveniently don't sing. And it says, let me read it to you, family. And like I said, you can go on Google and you can pull it up and read it for yourself. The verse says, no refuge could save the hireling and the slave from the terror or flight or from the gloom of the grave. Now, refuge means shelter, safe protection. So he's telling you there's no protection for the slave.
No.
And like I said, when he wrote that was 1814, we were still enslaved. So he was talking about us. Mm-hmm. So he had no regard for us. And like I said, so if anybody, especially black people, if you stand and you sing and you, like I said, you lock arms and all that, you're not disrespecting the flag. You're not disrespecting that song. Because now that you know, when we read it, and I read it to you, so if you continue to stand and sing, and whatever you do, put your hand over your heart, right? Use a coon.
Yes, a backstabber,
and you're a fool. Because, like I said, I
wouldn't trust you.
No, and we have a lot of coons running around here, and that's going to be the next show.
I'm waiting to hear somebody big like from Oprah Winfrey or show or one of them to say something about the verses that's been taken out. And why I'm waiting for somebody to really make a big deal about this and what's happening. What's the young man's name? The football player who first who did not stand for the national anthem?
Colin Kaepernick. But let me say something about Colin Kaepernick. First of all, what Colin Kaepernick did,
Black Power, I applaud him.
We stand behind you, Colin. But what he did first, he went to a war veteran, and he asked them first, how should I go about doing this? Because he didn't want to be disrespectful. So what the soldier told him, don't sit, just take a knee. So, and that's what he did. And also, family, Colin Kaepernick was exercising his right to protest.
Yes.
His constitutional right.
Right.
So don't get upset when he does it. Now, let me talk to Caucasian people for a minute. Now, let's not change the narrative of why he did it. See, Caucasian people are notorious for changing the narrative of something, especially when you pull the blanket out or pull the wool from over the eye. Okay? Yes. The narrative first when he did it was for police brutality, police murdering, and injustice for black people. Now, Caucasian people, now all of a sudden, now they want to flip it and change it into, oh, well, you're disrespecting the flag, you're disrespecting the soldiers, you're disrespecting the veteran. No, let's get back to the original narrative.
Yes.
Right, and why? So let's not flip-flop, because like I said, you're notorious for doing that. So as far as being disrespectful to the flag or that song, damn that flag and damn that song.
And here's the thing, who are we supposed to be worshiping? The Most High or the flag? That's the question. Who are we supposed to be praising and worshiping? The Most High. I even say nature, which is actually the word of the Most High.
Exactly.
Okay, but I'm trying to figure out what's this big deal about us not standing for this flag.
Well,
and clearly the flag is not in any way, shape, or form good for us.
It never had been. Like I said,
what about the flag is good for us?
It's not. Because like I said, we're not even considered citizens of this country.
3/5.
And if you check the Constitution, you are considered 3/5 of a human. But don't take our word for it. Do your own research.
Yeah, do your
black
own
people,
research.
because this is the problem with a lot of us. We don't read, we don't do research, and then we just go along to get along. Well, see, I just broke down and read you the verse. So now it's up to you now how you want to handle it.
It's just so much. When are we going to wake up and see that these people will never love us? Look at where the places mainly where they have us living. They don't do nothing to clean up the so-called hood.
Right. Oh, and let me touch on what you said about Oprah Winfrey. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey and these black athletes. Okay. Now, collectively,
Steve Harvey, another one.
Well, he's a coon.
Well, I'm just waiting to hear him. I mean, I've heard him say some things in defense of our people. I have heard him say some things in defense of our people.
Listen, he's a coon, okay? But now let me talk to these athletes. Now, all of a sudden now, you want to get upset because Donald Trump said you can be fired if you disrespect the flag. Well, just like I said, you work for the NFL. So since you work for the NFL and you work for them, you do as you're told. And then collectively, the football players and the basketball players, you have multi-millions. If you really want to make a difference, if you're really pissed off, pool your money together. Mm-hmm. Start your own basketball league. Start your own football league. You're not even building
baseball
businesses.
As well.
Exactly. You're not even building businesses in the black neighborhoods. You should have black-owned banks all across this country.
Yes.
But don't sit back and from your mansion and tweet some dumb stuff about because he hurt your feelings. So what?
Well, see, what he said was he called them sons of bitches.
Right.
And what he did was insult their mothers. Mm-hmm. Sons of bitches, he's saying something about, and then they know how to pull the black man out of his position as being a man. Because most, they get a lot of money and their families are living a certain way. Yeah, and some of them's wives, when they come and say, you better not bow or whatever, you better stand up for the flag because we're going to keep living how we live.
Yeah, but don't.
No, but I'm just saying. But this is the truth, and this is what I say to these women. You bring your man down. You take him out of the position sometime, and I'm not talking about all black women, but the bougie ones who want to keep that. They don't care nothing about his dignity and him as a man who really wants to stand up and fight for what he believes in. They want to keep buying 6-inch heels.
And just like the athletes, like I said, you've done nothing to help the black community, nothing. So don't get upset when now Donald Trump. Now this is coming from a man who is a racist, and he disrespects and molests women openly and says it. But this is the kind of president that you vote in, and seeing any woman who voted for Donald Trump, you're just as weak and stupid as he is.
Yes.
So,
and black man.
Right. And the coons too. So, but like I said, if you really want to make a difference, athletes, pool your money together. Start your own basketball league. Start your own football league. If not, then shut up. Keep dribbling that ball up and down that court. And football players, shut up and keep running up and down that football field, catching and passing that ball, and do as you're told. But then, on top of that, you never even came to Colin Kaepernick's defense when he first did it.
And if I was him, I would sue them for discrimination.
Right. And he lost his job.
I would sue them for discrimination, his constitutional rights, everything that has been taken from him. I would sue them for it.
Right, because like I said, he has a constitutional right to protest peacefully, which is what he did. But
a flag? You gonna take my life from me for a flag?
And fighting for
freedom? The flag can't keep me warm.
Right.
The flag can't feed me.
Fight for whose freedom?
A flag?
Right. But
are you serious?
But you're saying you're fighting for freedom. Fighting for whose freedom? We're not even free here. You didn't even if you want to fight for freedom, then fight for the freedom of black people in this country. When they're murdered, gunned down by the terrorist group called the police department. When we're gunned down. And then with no justice. And then none of them haven't even been prosecuted or even indicted.
Are you telling me they fired him?
Yeah, he's out of the league. Nobody hired Colin Kaepernick.
Well, isn't he still under contract with someone?
No.
Are you serious? And they listen to Trump?
Oh, well, of course. Yeah, Colin Kaepernick has not been picked up by anybody, and he's not going to. But Colin Kaepernick, you are a true warrior, and I commend you, brother, and I stand behind you, brother. And then a lot of these
I applaud him as well.
Exactly. So hold your head up, brother, because it takes one person to start a revolution. Because even when Muhammad Ali, when he didn't go to war, he was hated for that. Mm-hmm. But history vindicated
Why would they even want us to fight for them?
And why would you?
Yes. Why would you want to?
Why would you? I would like I said, I would never get on a plane, boat, and go thousands of miles to fight someone who's never done anything to me when my enemy is right here. I don't need to leave these borders. My enemy's right here. It's called white supremacy. So
it's a shame. It won't change.
Well,
and we won't wake up from this nightmare.
Well, the thing about it is,
and we make ourselves look stupid. This is why they don't look
right.
They'll keep us down because we do it ourselves.
Right.
We don't love each other. We treat each other like dirt. We keep killing each other in the street. Right. No, why do they care that they call them out disrespect?
Right. How many times,
disrespectful.
Black people,
we kill each other. We don't care nothing about no moms. Mm-hmm. You know, these brothers is going back and forth to jail and all kinds of. How you think your mom feel?
But family, how long or how many times do you have to get spit on, discriminated against, murdered in the street before you wake up?
Yes. That you don't own nothing in the hood. I'm not saying everybody, because there are some black men that have made the initiative of getting their own business. But look at the hood. Everything's owned by the Arabs, the Hindus, the Chinese, the Koreans.
But
and they get rich off of us, and it's so called the hood.
Right. That's our fault. Because we love everybody. Saying. We want to be everybody's friend, but everybody doesn't love us. So you have to have some selfishness.
Everybody owes us.
Right. But you have to have some selfishness for your race to go after the resources that we don't have. You have to have some selfishness to love your people. You first have to love your people. I love my people, and I don't care about any other race but my own, because nobody else cares about us.
I'm going to make sure I say this. It's the acts that I do not like. Because I'm going to admit there have been some people of a different race I've seen goodness in them. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the actions. It's the actions. And I know it's a situation where you say to yourself, I don't know which ones to trust. And in the ones that you think you can trust, it's almost like that snake almost at the basic information before leaving Earth book talk about.
Well, Muhammad Ali.
The manipulate thing. You can think they're your friend, or you can think they can give you $1 million and they're going to tax it and take half of it.
Well, Muhammad Ali made a good analogy of that. He said if 10,000 rattlesnakes was coming to get you, but only 2,000 of those rattlesnakes didn't mean you any harm, would you open the door and let them in? Okay, there you go. But also, let me say something about the NFL. Now, the NFL is, they're talking about how patriotic they are. But in 2009, the NFL received $12.3 million from the military to promote that flag in the beginning of every game of the football games. So, NFL, don't act like you're so patriotic because you're not. You got paid to do it.
Well, of course, the players didn't know probably that all this took place. No. Okay.
But even if they did know, what are they going to say?
We're actually dealing with an underhanded snake, Nakash. Mm-hmm. This is the enchanter, the manipulator. So you look at what we've been doing it in school, putting our hand over our heart, no less.
Yeah, well,
saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and singing the national anthem.
Well, when I found out about that flag back in middle school, when we were children, I stopped standing up.
Me too. And my son, I never.
And I told my daughter, whatever school you go to, do not stand and pledge allegiance to some flag. And I told the school board, if you do, you're gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Mm-hmm. Don't make my daughter stand up for anything. She doesn't have to. So
the era that we're in right now, family, you're going to find out a lot of information that you never knew before. And this information that's going to shock you concerning religion and concerning your ways of life that you have been living every day. Information is going to come through and you are going to be so shocked. And it's going to be like, you're going to be saying to yourself, and while I've been doing this all my life.
Right. Well, see, we're in the age of Aquarius.
And didn't know this. We're in the age of Aquarius. This is the age of information.
So it's no excuse, family. There's no excuse for you not to know anything.
Anything you want to know now, you can go right on that internet and find it.
You can go on your phone. Or you can take your behind to the library and do some research. But black people, wake up. Wake up. And realize that we are under a system of white supremacy. And then, like I said, Martin Luther King when it was too late, he admitted that I integrated my people into a burning building.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
But then after he realized that, then they murdered him.
But
Now
you gotta understand, though, too, look what we do to ourselves. You know, I have to keep on applauding Sarnetta for trying
Sarnetta
his
TV. That's right.
best to make a platform where information could have been told to our people. And all we did was destroy that man's platform.
Well,
I'm not saying everybody that was on the platform, but look at what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Talking down and dragging each other through the mud.
but you know, that's that.
That man,
You can. At some point, you have to blame the system that we're in. But then again, at some point, you have to realize, okay, I know what the enemy is. I know how the enemy works. Okay, so now you have to be smarter than that. You know, so you see, just like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when Caucasian people say, when they talk about terrorists, well, let's look at who the original terrorists are. The Caucasians. Ever since you crawled out of the caves of the Caucasus Mountains, all you did was murder, rape, pillage, and plunder. You couldn't even get along with yourselves. And then when you slithered your way over here, you raped, robbed, stole. You went to every four corners of this planet and murdered,
to every creation,
and killed people by the millions. So you are the original terrorist. And then if you want to call someone a terrorist, then we can look at y'all as terrorists. Because didn't Timothy McVeigh and Nichols blow up the Oklahoma building? So now we can look at every Caucasian people in this country suspect as being a terrorist.
What about the man that just killed all those people
in Vegas?
Yes.
You know, so let's not point the finger.
I think the one even that went in the church and killed all them people.
Oh, and that's another thing. Right,
Yes.
right. Dylan Roof. That's another thing. Black people.
Yeah, my goodness.
Now I don't want to get off on the subject, but let me just say this. Now, this Neanderthal went into a church and murdered people in the house of God, so to speak. And now you talk about God's supposed to be all seeing and on and on. Well, didn't he know that he was coming? How did he allow that? And then these same black people gonna go back to that same church the very next day and pray to the God who let that happen.
I said they forgive him.
Man, listen.
Here's my analogy. I have always said, do unto others as you would expect them to do unto you. We came over here with blood, it's going to end up in blood.
Exactly.
Okay?
Well, I don't subscribe. Well, let me throw this out there. I don't believe in that Bible. I don't subscribe to that.
Well, I'm going to say this to you. Okay? That book is a tool.
Well, you have to know how to read it.
You do have to know how to read it. But it's a tool that can be used.
Right.
Okay?
Because let me say, because 85% of that book came from Nile Valley civilization culture.
Yeah, information they stole, plagiarized.
Exactly.
And it's just like if I steal your car, I change the tires, I change the color, change the title, I change the tag. It's still your car.
It's still my car.
It's still your car, but it's made to believe that it's my car.
Exactly.
Because all I did was plagiarize your car.
You stole it from me.
I stole it, changed some things around, and instead of Heru, Osiris, and Offset, you get Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? The stories is that have been discombobulated.
Right.
And it's funny that when you try to explain, it's like we want to stay slaves. It's like we want to believe this. We have this thing about us that we just want to believe that everything we learned and it's 400 years have got to be true because it came from the master.
Well, but that's the thing. There was systematic indoctrination. Okay, so you have to be clear. There was when you were taken. So, okay, let me give you an example. If I break into your house, okay, and I kill your father, kill your mother, rape you, and rape your sisters and your son. Now I'm saying, listen. you don't want this to end up like you, then you better do as I say. So now I've taken control of your home.
Fear is the mind killer.
I've taken control of your home. Now I parlayed what you have in your home into some wealth. But I put the mindset that if you don't do as I say, I'm going to kill you and your brothers and sisters. And this is what was happening to us.
Yes.
Through slavery. And
oh my God, the example that they used with the black man. Oh my God.
So
they burnt them. They did every and anything they could. Through fear.
Through fear.
It's the mind killer. Once you have accepted fear, you are done.
And see, and then the black woman, then she had to protect her family. So she
they knew they had to get through the black woman.
Right.
She is the protector.
Exactly.
She is the protector. She is the walking and living God.
Exactly.
Now, rather anybody want to accept that, I can explain it to you how I am saying it. I'm not taking anything from the black man, but she brings life into existence.
Right. But we are supposed to protect the female and the women and children. See, black men, we need to take our rightful place back as the protector of the family, because it's our nature to protect the women and the children, and we have lost that.
Yes,
we have lost it. And then a lot of times you wonder why our women have no respect for us, because look what's going on in this country. We should be banding together and we should be handling business.
Look what's going on. They wearing pants tighter than we are, pink shirts, all kinds.
Well, see, that's another agenda.
And then the women got their booties out.
Yeah, but see, that homosexual agenda. That's another thing we're going to talk about that. But that's an agenda, okay, to feminize the man, okay, and demasculize the man. You know, that homosexual is an agenda. So you want to talk about Barack Obama. Barack Obama put the gay rights agenda before the black struggle. And I'll say it again. Barack Obama put the gay rights agenda before the black struggle.
And another thing, I want people to stop saying that he was our first black president.
He wasn't.
This man's mother that carried him in her womb for 9 months was a Caucasian. Okay, let's just make sure that we state what he was. He was a mulatto.
Right. And
he was mixed breed. He was not that old 1%, then you're all black. No.
Well, there were 8 presidents before
Washington. You have a mother and a father. You are half breed.
Right. But there were 8 presidents before Washington, and they all look like me. But like I said, don't take my word for it. Do your own research.
Do your own research. Yes, this is correct. Now we have, me and you have our differences on certain things.
Of course.
But with this particular situation with the national anthem and the flag, we stand strong on.
Exactly.
Excuse me. We stand strong on. And the situation is bad for us. If we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything. And that's what we've been doing. Falling and falling and falling and falling. And we have not hit the bottom yet, obviously, because we're still falling.
And we're still
falling
asleep.
For everything. They took our culture. We're doing their religion. We're worshiping their gods. We're eating their food. Everything is the way that they have made it for us to be.
And the bad part about it is, we gave science, mathematics, culture, writing to the world.
We're not even going to mention the inventions
that
came from African American or American African people that they take credit for every single day. Millions and millions and millions of dollars that belong to our ancestors that should have come down to their children. These people have credit for and have corporations.
Have stolen. Well, like I said, a lot of the inventions during slavery were invented by the slaves because they did all the work, so they wanted to make it easier on themselves. But then the Caucasian came and stole it, wrote laws, and then formed what's called a patent to steal it and to claim that it's his and make money off of it. So there's a lot of inventions that...
Even in the music industry.
Oh, of course.
Oh, my God.
Everything.
And every day we still trust this entity that has done nothing but steal and lie.
Because a lot of our people are still suffering from indoctrination, and you have a slave mentality.
Yes.
And that's right, I said it. You still have a slave mentality because of the Willie Lynch system that still perpetuates in our people today. So once you start loving yourself, finding out who your ancient ancestors were and their ancient cultures, because ask yourself this: what were we doing before we were kidnapped and brought over here?
And even if we never find out, we could start right now with something different.
Exactly.
We don't have to continue on living the way. Why do we want to have the same gods that they have?
Right. Well, like I said, look at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma had their own Black Wall Street, their own businesses. Okay, but what did the Caucasian do? Because he was jealous of their prosperity, he bombed them using planes. So this was not the first time. So September 11th was not the first time this country was bombed using planes. It was 1931 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look it up.
And also look up some of these Black soldiers that went to war and fought and won all kinds of declarations. They won all. Credit for them.
And to come back after they fought, gave their lives for this country, which I would have never done. But they did it, and to come back to be subjugated and called niggers again.
Yes.
So
not to be able to, can't even drink out the same faucet and all kinds of stuff. But yet you want your baby on my breast drinking my milk. I'm confused. What do you want? You can eat my food, but you hate me.
Well, my thing is, we need to separate. Total separation. Because see now, because it's working together.
And you can live in the same place and separate. Yeah, you just don't. I just don't want to deal with you.
Right. And we need our own economics. We need our own money. I mean, because the black dollar is the most powerful dollar in probably in the world, especially in this country, and we own nothing.
And the thing is, we hate their actions. I want to make it plain and clear. We, by nature, are not a hatred people.
No. Well, this is how they were able. Well, this is how the Arab and the Caucasian was able to take Africa, because we don't resonate on that barbaric frequency.
We're not hateful people.
Right. So we don't resonate on a barbaric frequency because we just want to love everybody because we are the original of this planet. We are in tune with nature in this planet. So we have a different mindset. Right. So you're dealing with Neanderthal.
We're too forgiving.
Right.
We're too forgiving.
And I blame Christianity for a lot of that too.
Yes. So, we're too but we that's how we are.
Right. But
in
still,
nature, that's how we are. We just are forgiving people, and we have to get out of that.
Right, because
we have to get out of it. I don't forgive you. I don't forgive them.
No, I don't have to. Because listen, family, you have to, like I said, you have to have some selfishness of yourself to go after the resources that we need, and to be unapologetically black, okay, and don't care, because I don't care about what any other race says, because every Chinese people are proud to be Chinese.
Yes.
Fake Jews are proud to be fake Jews. Okay? Every other race is proud. The only other race on this planet who's not proud, especially in this country, is black people. And black people, it's okay. It's okay, because once you start loving yourself and then that's going to start having you protect your women, protect the children, and also saying, wait a minute, you cannot come into our neighborhood and start a store.
And a business, and don't hire none of us.
Right. No, you can't come in, period. Period.
But here's the thing that get me. The government hates the Arabs so much. They hate the Hindus so much. But they put them in. They can come to the United States and open businesses. They trust them
and don't pay taxes for 7 years. But see,
Dunkin' Donuts, 7-Eleven, all the hotels. Every time you turn around, these people are all. How are they doing that?
Because you're dealing with a capitalistic society, which is all about money.
And you know what they say? We're going to put you in the black neighborhoods because they're too lazy to cook. They can't go home and cook a full course meal. They so lazy, they just going to come and they going to buy food from you.
But here's the thing. Now
I think America owes them all.
Now here's the slick racism in that. They'll let the Koreans in the black neighborhood. They'll let the Arabs in the black neighborhood. Okay? Let them borrow money. Don't have to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. So now when we see them, now first thing, we're starting to hate them. I hate them Koreans. I hate them. So now, like I said, they're notorious of changing the narrative.
Yes.
Okay, so now we hate the Koreans and the Arabs. But who is the puppet master behind the scene letting them into the black neighborhood? Because now we can't go to a bank and borrow money to open up businesses. Yes. Because they have all kind of roadblocks in our way. But they can come over and do it. So now, he sits back.
Didn't have nothing to do with the building of America.
He'll sit back and say, okay, yeah, now we'll get them to hate them instead of us. But you're the puppet master. Mm. So now we see them in our neighborhood. First thing you're going to say, them Koreans, them Arabs. But behind the scene, the Caucasian man.
But here's my thing, though. We got all these black people in office.
Right.
All these black people in office. And they don't do nothing.
Well, Freedom, you know.
Nothing about the community.
Yeah, but you know how that goes.
It's unbelievable.
Because they're so worried about their job. See, this is why I applaud Colin Kaepernick. He wasn't afraid, and he risked his job to make a stand. Mm-hmm. And just like Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Rosa Parks, and Martin Luther King, and even Malcolm X. He will be history.
Khalid Muhammad.
Right. Well, brother Khalid Muhammad. But what I'm saying is, anybody who took a stand, history vindicated him. Mm-hmm. And brother Kaepernick, don't worry. History will vindicate you.
Yes.
So don't worry about it. You keep your head up, and we're behind you. So.
And you believe in the Most High.
Exactly.
You believe in the Most High. You call on the ancestors for your help. You ain't got to fight by yourself.
Exactly.
You call on the ancestors for your help. You can best believe they will come running.
But, right. And then, like I said, and another thing, we're calling on the wrong help.
So-called gods.
Right.
They're gods.
Right. We're calling on the wrong help. That's why, see, and this is another thing. See, black people are so busy sitting around waiting for Jesus to come back. So if I know you're going to come, or if I think you're coming, right, and somebody's messing with me, I'll be like, well, I ain't going to do nothing because I know Sister Freedom's coming to help me. Mm-hmm. So this is why black people sit back and don't do anything, because they're waiting on some Jesus to come save them.
Oh, that kills me.
And
the Muslims too. Let's not forget the Muslims as well.
Right. So
they even have the nerve to say if something happens to somebody and you go to try to get some help from them, some of them, and especially on 28th Street, I'm making it plain, will say, was that person Muslim? It's a joke to me. You still a nigga in the eyes of the people that's your enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't matter that you walking around in that robe. It's not going to make a difference.
Right. But
you just a nigga in a robe.
Right. But how many times do you have to see what goes on in this country? Look at the black men who were murdered, as long as the women who were murdered by that gang called the police department.
Yes.
So I mean, when are you gonna wake up?
Once we were indoctrinated into these religions, how many slaves called on their God and God never came for them?
Because they were calling on the wrong
Thank you. I mean, can you imagine your baby hung up, being whooped, and you hollering about God, please, their God?
Right.
And God don't come?
Because he don't exist. Because if I say, hey, Vanessa, are you going to turn around? Are you?
No, it's not my name.
Exactly. That's my point.
You know what? I often think about this joke when I think about their Jesus. Okay? And I had to grow up. And they said once you become a grown person, you put away childish things. Okay. And this joke my dad was telling me once about the lady who told her child that I'm going to put some money. No, put some money underneath your tooth. The tooth came out, and it's going to be some money underneath your pillow when you wake up. So the money wasn't there, of course, when he woke up. So he said, "Now where's my money at?" I said, "My money ain't here." So the mom sending him past the graveyard every night, going to the store, whatever. So somebody out said, this he won't change his ways, so we're going to scare him. So this night, he walks by the graveyard, and I hope I'm telling the joke right if my dad is listening.
Yeah, get it right.
And listen, so the mom and the father put one of them put a white sheet over top of him and said, "I am the Son of God." The little boy turned around and said, "You the MF I've been looking for. Where my money at?" Do you remember that? You remember that joke? So no. Where is my money at? No. You understand? But what I'm trying to say is, why should he have believed? Because once she took the sheet off, you seen it was my mom. Right. So why I'ma believe in anything? You understand? These fairy tales that's been the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus, because you know God has the same attributes as Santa Claus.
Well, of course.
Knows when you've been sleeping, know when you're awake, know when you've been good or bad, so be good for goodness sake. Instead of angels, Santa Claus got elves. He flying through the sky. He's sitting in a big throne with the beard and the whole the same attributes as Santa Claus.
Right. And you know, and it just amazes me that our supposedly in 2017 that our people still believe in this.
Yeah, and the thing is, information and just here. Let me not plagiarize something. I learned that from the teachings of Dr. Malachi York. He woke me up to so much information. 3 Jesuses in the Bible. I have so many of this man's books, and so much I have learned from the teachings of Dr. Malachi York. I know that there's people who do not respect him, but for what I have learned from him, I respect him. Okay. And incidentally, that joke might have been a little off. So, Daddy, if I got it wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because it wasn't funny.
Yeah. I did tear it up and it went all over the place. But I'm just saying, I tried. But I understood what I was trying to say. My intentions were good.
Yeah, we got
I'm not a good joke teller, but hey.
But on a more serious tip, Black people,
wake up.
Wake up.
And stop putting each other down.
Right.
Stop putting each other down. Everybody makes mistakes in life. Right. Everybody can't be right.
Because at the end of the day, we all we got.
Right.
We all we got. And Black men, start protecting women and your children. Okay? We need to take our rightful place as men again. Like the Black Panther Party.
Yes. Which will be here again. And they do want to start a Black Panther Party group here. We need it. We need something that's going to make us strong again. We need to start our own businesses. And women, stand behind your man. If you working and he's not working, and you see him struggling trying to find a job, save up some money, buy your man a pickup truck so he can start his own business. So he can bring some money home for the family. Don't just sit around calling him, MF, get up off my couch, and you no good this, and you lazy bones, this, that, and another. Help your Black man.
Yeah, but if that's what he's doing.
But I said the ones that are making an effort to try to find a job, and you know that can mess with a man when he can't find a job.
Right. Because it's a man's nature to provide
for his woman and his family.
For the family. It's our nature. But we have lost sight of that through this white
putting him
supremacy
down
system.
and cussing him out, it's not going to help.
Right, especially with this welfare system. You know, so.
And another thing, the child support thing too.
Right, that movie Claudine. Watch that movie Claudine, and you will really see how the system of child support and how it works, and how they will systematically brainwash the children and to break up the family structure, because you can't let the man in, because if he's not married, then he can't come stay here, or he can't give you anything. So that breaks up the black family with the mother, the father, and the children. Watch that movie Claudine.
And mothers, be careful what you say and do to your children.
Exactly.
It stains them for the rest of their lives. You have to be careful what you do with your children. Some kids ask later on in life, Mom, why did you do this? Because even though you might have a father, for some reason, your mom, you understand what I'm saying? Your mom was supposed to protect you no matter what. It might not seem like that, but in a child's mind, you could be mad. The mother and father could do the same crime. But to the child, the mother should have protected their child no matter what. A woman, she could give her child away, and the child don't have the mother or the father. Okay? That child will blame the mother more than it will the father.
Because it has
I've seen incidences like that.
Because you carried the first teacher of the child is inside the womb, so you already have.
So you expect her to protect you more.
You already have that connection with the child.
Well, this was a good session to me, and it was some information that was put out there. And because we definitely have some sessions that we really are going to get into, and it's going to make some people very angry with us, especially when it comes to religion. But I'm not going to bite my tongue on it, and we're going to come straight from the book. So you're going to have to accept that if it came from the book.
Well, but here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. The majority of these so-called Christians never even read the book. So you don't even know what you're following. I mean, come on.
But really,
you're relying on some jackleg preacher and to give you his interpretation of, because he reads one line, then he got his whole sermon is based off of one line that he read, when you can pick up that book and read it yourself. And then
read it with understanding, not understanding. Right. Don't listen to what somebody else tells you. If it's a word that you don't understand, because Adam and Eve did not walk up to a tree and talk to a snake. If you don't understand what the snake stands for or what the tree stands for, and it came down in a different language, look it up. But the information is there. Oh, yes. Okay? Yes. It's in the book. Yeah. But you have to really read it.
And you have to read other literature, like the pyramid and the coffin
and all the
text.
books that were taken out of the so-called
What was it 70, 72 or 77 books at first? Now there's 66 books?
Yeah, it was a lot of books that were taken out of the book of Enoch. A lot of books were taken out.
66, right. But the King James Version is the weakest version.
Oh, my God. It's the worst.
I mean, come on.
It is the worst. And I just seen some Israelite brothers, and I asked them, I said, well, we'd like you to come back on the show. Okay. Now, I love my Hebrew Israelite brothers, because I know they still are our brothers and sisters, and what they're doing is whatever they believe that they're doing, they think they're doing it for the right reasons.
Listen, I don't have any problem with the Hebrew Israelite brothers. If you want to praise Yahweh Shad or whatever you call them, that's cool. But the only time that the Kemetic community or the conscious community comes after you when you say, "Oh well, this is original and
this is correct." It's not
right. When y'all jumped around from place to place, like you never took anything from all the places that you've been. Okay, so how can you live somewhere for 400 years or 430 years and don't take nothing out of there?
Another subject,
if you want to believe
right?
that.
But another subject that we're going to get on, and we're going to have guests on the show too, because I can't wait to have Professor Smalls here.
Oh yeah,
Reggie, can't wait to have him. We're going to try to get Jabari. We're going to try to get Prince York. We're going to try to get many people to come on the show and give you information that you've never ever been awakened to before.
And like you said, that's
I
why
can't wait
to
to get on the subject. Oh, and Dr. Ali, who will come and give you some information pertaining to your health, what kind of foods that you were supposed to be eating, and how to cleanse your body out so you could be more healthy. You know, I can't wait to have these people on the show. Yeah, but we need to get on that the subject of how the Caucasian came about. I don't agree with the analogies that people have given. I have my own theory to how the different races came about.
And
I do not believe that people all started in Africa. I do not believe that in no way, shape, or form. Let's make it clear for whoever may be looking at this.
And we did not derive from any apes.
Definitely not.
We do not have a Neanderthal gene in our body whatsoever.
Okay. Well, this was a good show, and there's one thing I definitely have to say before we close out tonight. Happy birthday, Carlisi. That's my granddaughter. Her birthday is today, Friday the 13th. But that is my heart. Both of my granddaughters just had birthdays. But today is Carlisi's birthday. Happy birthday, Mama Gail. Happy born day. So I guess we will close out tonight.
Right. And like I said, wake up, black people. Wake up.
Yes, wake up.
Stop
sleeping. Stop sleeping.
The
wake up.
information is out there. Go get it. And like I said, research that verse of the Star Spangled Banner.
And then tell your kids that verse, because you're responsible for what your children know. It is up to you that they may know. But we're going to go ahead and close out now. This is Talk Black to me. To you.
And to you too. Peace and love, family. And until the next show, this is Brother Haru.
I'm Sister Freedom. Peace and love.